Hi, Ellen.
I struggled to get out of that early.
How was Lexi?
It's dark. We're getting up. It's dark.
And when you got back, she said, where are you?
Somebody died tonight, we'll get cranking.
That's it.
Please watch for flag.
They let us all put the money in and all that, and then go oh yeah,
Okay, that was bad.
we're gonna do a fundraiser tomorrow.
I'd like to call to order the February meeting of the Shandaken Town Board. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board Member Alba? Here. Board Member DeCifani?
Here.
Board Member Malloy?
Here.
Board Member Storms? Here. Supervisor Stanley?
Here. I'd entertain a motion to approve the previous town board meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Supervisor's financial report, January 2017. Portion of general tax warrant, $850,000. Pine Hill Water District in full tax warrant, $50,000. Lighting District in full tax warrant, $18,425. Fire District's tax warrant, $468,118. Police fees, $15. Ambulance fees, $11,568.08. Town Clerk, $128.97. Cell Tower, $917.75. Justice fees, $6,183.50. Planning fees, $400. Building permit fees, $775. Dog licenses, $25.50. Unpaid water bills, 2016 Pine Hill Water District, $8,608.34, for a grand total of $1,415,165.14. Communications. Month of February 2017. Safari, we have two resolutions tonight regarding our work toward better flood resiliency. The first is concerning the possible relocation of the two buildings on Main Street closest to the Stony Clove Creek, which currently house Ruth Gale Realty and the Catskill Clothing Store. We have received a $15,000 grant from the CWC to perform a feasibility study. This relocation plan is part of a larger plan outlined in the local flood analysis done for the hamlet of Phoenicia last year. We also have a resolution to hire a firm to assist us, and more specifically our code officer, Warren Tutt, in completing an application through FEMA's Community Rating System, or CRS. CRS is a program whereby communities can apply, and depending upon the depth of information, education, and communication you provide residents, you can garner varying amounts of points. The more points you accrue, the more you can reduce flood insurance rates for your residents town-wide. Due to the amount of work and information we have available and provided to our residents regarding flooding currently, we believe we can work toward at least 10 to 15% reduction in those costs for the residents. We've received a $15,000 grant from the Shandaken Watershed Stream Management Program and Cornell Cooperative Extension of Ulster County to perform this task. And we hope to receive proposals for both these activities before our next meeting and hope to award both at March's board meeting. Ambulance. Last month, we were forced to take emergency action to increase the wage for our drivers from $9 per hour to the new state minimum wage of $9.70 per hour. Previously, our technicians, or EMTs, were making $1 per hour more than the drivers due to the increased training and service they provide us. Tonight, we have a resolution to increase the EMT rate from $10 per hour to $10.70 per hour. We will be addressing the paramedics over the next few months. These rates were set in their contract, and we will need to address this in that contract for the coming years so as to continue to meet the state minimum wage increases. Additionally, one of our full-time paramedics is taking an undeterminable leave of absence for personal reasons. We are promoting part-time paramedic Jim Coddington to full-time to cover this loss. Additionally, Deputy Chief Muller-Lely will be taking over the duties of training officer, which was being performed by the same individual. Bel Air. Bel Air Mountain, located wholly within the town, is operated by the Olympic Regional Development Authority, or ORDA, based in Lake Placid. They also operate two other facilities, Whiteface in Lake Placid and Gore Mountain in North Creek. If you are not aware, it is budget season in Albany. We were alerted to an announcement made by Governor Cuomo approximately 2 weeks ago concerning capital funding to be provided to ORDA for their ski facilities. Regrettably, the announcement of a $20 million investment proposed by the governor was specifically slated for infrastructure and upgrades at Whiteface and Gore only, without mention of Bel Air. Bel Air is a vital part of our community and region, and many residents and visitors are disappointed, to say the least, about this omission. A unit management plan for repairs and upgrades at Bel Air was prepared over a number of years ago. In December of 2015, the plan passed environmental review and was approved by the state DEC. Yet the state fails to fund the plan or even items in the plan. Just as we struggle to maintain the upkeep on our bridges, roads, buildings, and vehicles, it is the state's responsibility to maintain the necessary infrastructure and improvements needed for Bel Air to maintain a safe and relevant recreational facility like Bel Air. We have a resolution tonight to request the governor to correct this omission as soon as possible and ask our county legislature and county executive to do the same. Highway. We have a resolution to go out to bid for gravel crushing and hope to receive bids prior to our meeting next month in order to award. Additionally, work is moving forward on the replacement bridge for Route 28 in Big Indian and Woodland Valley Bridge. We have a meeting coming up with DOT to discuss the full plan for the Big Indian Bridge, but it sounds like the plan remains to be building the new bridge next to the existing bridge. Motorists will continue to use the existing bridge without a detour, and they hope to move the lanes onto the new bridge sometime in the summer of 2018. Woodland Valley Bridge is still slated to reopen this spring. Additionally, we received notice that another of our bridges on Peck Hollow, which is in need of serious replacement, was awarded $885,000 through the New York Bridges program. We are meeting with DOT officials next week to go over the plan for replacement and hope to be going out over the next few months for that work. It should be noted that we were the only government, including the county, who received these funds in Ulster County. Miscellaneous, we have a resolution to renew our contract with the county for the police department to participate in urgent or the Ulster Regional Gang Enforcement Team. I'm also happy to report that there's a resolution to hire a full-time confidential secretary for my office since the previous secretary left last September. Tonight we will be hiring Carol Herdman, who comes to us with previous experience in governmental accounting with the U.S. Navy. I'd like to welcome Carol aboard, and also I would like to thank Tina Rice, who was helping out periodically, and to Patty Hines, the part-time secretary, for taking on more of a workload until this point. Lastly, our franchise agreement with Charter Communications Spectrum, formerly Time Warner, is due for renewal in May. We have several areas of the town we would like to see service extended to, and the state has requested that Spectrum find a way to provide many more properties statewide with service and improved service to boot. Board member Storms and I will be meeting with a few folks over the month to review the current agreement and look for ways to try to provide better service throughout our community. If you are in the area, or if you are in an area of town that is currently lacking in television and broadband services, feel free to contact my office so we can work to create a committee to work on this over the next few months. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for Monday, March 6th, 2017 at 7 p.m. Joyce, do you have anything?
Yes. If you haven't already signed up for our emergency alert system, please do so. It's on our website at shandaken.us/alerts. And the perfect thing about this system is if you don't go online or don't have a computer, they will also call your home line. And it's automated service, and we can program it for floods, major storms, any warnings, lost hikers, anything in town. So you can call my office if you don't go online. My number is 688-5004. Upcoming events for this month, the Phoenicia Business Association is having a February food drive. If you haven't noticed the boxes all around town, please drop off some food and help out some people who could use it. Shandaken Historical Museum is having a postcard show this Sunday, February 12th, up at the Historical Museum. And there's CPR training this month, if you haven't heard. Patty Rudge is running a CPR training classes all this month in town. And you can give her a call at 254-4126. The first one's tomorrow night in Mount Tremper. And there's a fly tying class by Hank Rope at the Phoenicia Fish and Game on February 18th and 25th. And the Big Indian Native American Cultural Center is having a moccasin workshop at the Pine Hill Community Center on Saturday, February 18th. And last but not least, the Pancake Supper is at the Phoenicia Methodist Church on February 28th for Shrove Tuesday. And that's going to be 4 to 6?
4 to 6.
Yeah, 4 to 6. There's no time on that.
Sometimes we
Philly just gave me the poster this morning. And that's it.
flapjacks.
That's it.
Anybody else? Any other blitz?
They have one coming up, but they'll be announcing it later.
Okay. Committee reports. Deputy Chief Mullerlon.
Long time no see.
You have no idea how great this feels.
All right, Rich.
So, good evening, Supervisor Stanley, members of the board, town residents. To preface the January 2017 report and the annual report, I'd like to take a moment to express how satisfying it feels to once again be at this microphone representing the town of Shandaken ambulance. As much as one may feel the grass may be greener on the other side, quote Dorothy when I say there's no place like home. And thank you for the opportunity to once again serve. It truly means the world.
Glad to have you back, Rich.
Thank you. Also, I apologize for the lack of my penguin suit. Both Chief Whalen and I had to get them altered.
It's just the winter, it's just the winter.
That's, you know. Anyhow, so as the ambulance has been through a lot in the past year, I'd like to start this monthly report by commending all ambulance staff. They are dedicated responders and exemplify true pre-hospital professionals every single time they call for service. This is even more so reflected by the call statistics for 2016, in which the ambulance responded to 86% of calls under 15 minutes. That's from the time of call to the arrival on the scene. I cannot stress to you how impressive that is, as we live in a town of nearly 120 square miles. I'd also like to report that as of February 1, we've switched over to a new electronic reporting software, and we're receiving great feedback from the staff as to the use and the ease of that. So thank you for making that decision, town board. In regards to our incident analysis report prepared by Chief Whalen, it seems that aside from trauma, which obviously can be attributed to incidents at the mountain and also the fact that people do crazy things at times, the other prevailing call is falls. Now, falls are preventable. We all know this. So please ensure that you exercise fall safety, particularly in the winter months with your elderly friends and relatives. Please check friends and loved ones' homes for trip hazards, such as bunched carpets and uneven tiles. And rectify them. Just take care of them. Just do a sweep of the house. Other than that, as always, be safe out there. And thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Rich.
Just eats that up. He doesn't need to eat it. He's got his soup open. So. Chief Story, please.
Oh, God, it's a hard act to follow. I'm not going to the mic yet. No, I didn't have to have my uniform altered either. All right, so the police department responded to 200 calls this month for service, 32 summonses, 10 arrests, and we patrolled 8,000 miles. Our two new rookies are doing really well. Gabrielle's finished up her field training for the academy part of it, so you'll be seeing her in a car more and more now. And Daniel Farcher is improving and is a standout in his refresher course, so he's doing really well. Only one thing that I want to bring to the board's attention, if you look at the mileage on the cars, there's one of our cars has 160,000 on it. Has given us little to no mechanical issues, and in talking to Glenn this week, it has the potential to cost us a couple $1,000s in the near future, so just something to consider. We were able to not buy a new car last year because I was able to get one surplus from the MTA police, which they don't do that program anymore, so just something for you guys to think about. Thanks.
Thank you. Phoenicia Water Alfred is not in town. Rick, do you have anything to add?
Everything's running good. I don't want to finish it.
Okay. You're nervous because there's a crowd here. Pine Hill Water, there's no report. Museum, I did not see Mr. Bennett here. And I know there's no recreation report. Marty's not in town. So for those of you who may be new to our meetings, again, we are coming to the portion, public comments on resolutions. This is strictly, if you have a comment pertaining to a resolution on the agenda tonight, we'd ask that you keep your comments civil, be respectful, try to keep it as brief as you can, but address the board, please, and please try not to get into personal attacks or anything. And we'd love to hear any. Rick, you're like a day late and $1 short, Rick, with the hand. What?
I want to talk about this.
Okay, hold on. Shoot, his hand right up. So yeah, I just ask you to be respectful, be clear, and address the board directly. So with that, we'll move on to public comments on resolutions, and I guess I'll go to Mr. Riccadella in the back of the room.
Yeah.
Generally, I would like you to step up to the microphone and speak, but Rick
I
said
got
no.
a bad fact. You talked about the flooding. Now, here, I'm repetitious again. You talked about Main Street, you want to take a couple of buildings down. It's nonsense. Just dredge out the creeks, and you won't have a problem. Take all this sand and gravel out that we can make money on. And I say this over and over, get the local guys in there with backhoes and excavators and do this. And it's imperative we do it anyway, because the next flood, they're gonna take out 3 or 4 roads. And I've said this time and time again.
I know, every meeting.
And also they're talking about a new town hall, get a hold of Anderson Window. All you need is new windows. I told him that 50 years ago. New windows.
All right.
New windows in and we'll be all right.
Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
Next, public comments and resolutions. Just raise a hand. Alan,
I'm not sure if it's on the agenda, but it's about the railroad. Is
no,
this the
we
wrong
don't have,
one?
we'll address that. We have open public comment after the resolutions are
Oh,
completed, and we'll listen to other comments at that point. Again, this is strictly on the resolutions at hand. No comments. Kathy? I'm like, this room is full and there's no comments.
On Resolution 60, on supporting the New York State funding for the Bel Air infrastructure. Rob, I think you said it very well when you said that there is support for the unit management plan and support for items in the unit management plan. So for people who don't know, the unit management plan that was adopted includes about $75 million of upgrades, about $35 million of which would be for the Bel Air Mountain Ski Center, and the rest is for items that would tie the Bel Air Mountain Ski Center to the proposed Bel Air Resort. So if you support the unit management plan, you can understand that that might be supporting that full $75 million build out. If you support items in the unit management plan, you could, like the Catskill Heritage Alliance, support up to $35 million of investment before you get into anything at all controversial. So this resolution does not distinguish. I think it would be better if it did, if it itemized the things in the unit management plan that we all agree are good, upgrades in snowmaking equipment and new buildings and warming sheds. And I mean, there's $35 million of places where I think there's general consensus that it's a great idea. So I'd love to have something that would be an uncontroversial support for Bel Air Mountain Ski Center. I don't object to this because I think that anybody putting money to Bel Air Mountain Ski Center would build those uncontroversial things first. But I think it would be a better resolution if we're going to do this in the future. If we itemize what it is we're supporting, you could have consensus about this. And the reason that some groups that have been challenged about why they don't supposedly are not calling for money for Bel Air is that when it's controversial, some of those groups don't get involved. They feel like individual groups, Coalition to Save Bel Air or others that have the goal of the full $75 million should be the ones advocating. Our representatives, John Parody and Joe Kelly, who are our representatives to ORDA, where were they to say that we didn't get, for Bel Air Mountain Ski Center, the $500,000 or $1 million that we've gotten each of the last few years and everybody has been very pleased with, at least that much. So I think there are places where we can come together, and I actually can support this resolution because it calls for improvements at Bel Air Mountain Ski Center, which I heartily endorse, and hope the board will pass this. Thank you.
Mr. Lance?
I don't even know where to begin. Next to you. First of all, at this point, 1,147 people.
I'm sorry, we do have a Verizon network extender, so if you have cell phones, I ask that you quiet them. Somebody's ringing.
Just let the dog get my time. We've been watching the news. At this point, 1,147 people have not only signed petitions supporting the unit management plan, that have written comments to the governor's office, and we're getting strong feedback, not only from our two legislators, but also from the majority leader in the New York State Senate. Kathy, as tireless and as hard as she has worked on this project, and we have to give Kathy a big round of applause for saving 1,250 acres for Forever Wild, couldn't be any more wrong on what she's saying tonight. Of the $78 million, it's not 78, it's probably more like 98. And why is it more like 98? When this plan was put together in the year 2005, and in 2007, a positive declaration draft scoping document was issued. In February of 2008, a final scoping document was issued. In 2013, the UMP was accepted for public comment. May 29th, the legislative hearing. July 17th, 2013, a public comment period on the UMP DEIS closed. And lo and behold, September, it's adopted of 2015. Now, if you put that together with no funding in 16, no funding in 17, that means a decade with no unit management plan. And for those of you who don't know what a unit management plan is, every state property has a unit management plan that goes out for 10 years. And it lists objectives. Now, in most cases, those objectives, it's a wish list because it's not funded. And in most cases, it's not as critical as it is at Bel Air. Because Bel Air, we're not just an incubator for jobs. We're not just about economic development. We're also about safety, people's safety. People hang 60 feet in the air. Now, because we've had no improvements in the last decade, we are at critical concern. And the 75 million, which probably has a creeper effect of 88 or 90 million, all of it is for the unit management plan and stands alone. The first phase, the first year, is $5 million for electrical infrastructure in order to be compliant with electricity. This is just 1 year. We have to build a $6 million snowmaking pond to be compliant with the water that's taking out of the stream. We have to serve our potable water, repair 9,000 feet of snowmaking line, and you're up to $15 million. And nothing sexy is happening. Nothing to get any more skiers there. We're just committing to what our invitation is. Now, early on in this process, we looked at the east, Cathedral Brook. 7,855 feet lift, top to bottom, 1,700